Are there positive aspects of socialism and capitalism? Of course. Let's start with those of capitalism so they're on the table. Capitalism has shown itself to be very dynamic technologically. It is a system in which there's constant pressure to come up with a new thing, a better thing, or if not a better thing, a new thing that you can sell as a better thing. And so we have modern technologies of all kinds, which capitalists and those who like capitalism celebrate. Technical dynamic quality, capitalism has that. And if you think it's positive, as often it is, excuse me, then that's a positive aspect of capitalism. Here's another one. The rise of capitalism is the rise of the city, of the urban coming together of many different people into a cultural diversity that for many, myself included, is very attractive as a way to organize life. Capitalism has delivered urbanism, and that's a positive in many ways. And here's another one. Capitalism has brought the world together. We really can speak of a global economy in a way this race of human beings never could before. We're linked by shipping, by telecommuting, by the internet. You know, we have a global system. Those are positive things one can ascribe to capitalism. What about socialism? Here are some positive things. It has gone way further in the direction of egalitarianism, making us all equal in some fundamental set of ways than capitalism could. That's a nice thing. People are not as divided. People are not as different from one another in their standards of living, in their access to material goods, in most socialist societies compared to capitalist. And if you're in the bottom half of the society in terms of poverty and access, well, then socialism has really lifted you up in a way that capitalism has not been able to do. It has really done something for the mass of people at the bottom in most of the cases where it has been instituted. And I could go on. Socialists are famous for providing kind of a universal access to basic things human beings need. Education, transportation, hospitalization, medical coverage, and so on. And these are positive aspects. But let's now graduate. Assume that we are having a conversation in which we can mention the goods and the bads. What are some of the bads? Well, capitalism has had an awful lot to do with war. It's not unique. Other systems went to war. But the wars capitalism has produced, particularly the two big ones in the 20th century, were called world wars and were devastating on a scale we have not yet seen in any socialist environment. We have not seen wars between socialist countries that look anything like what capitalism produced. We haven't seen, similarly, with capitalism and socialism, we haven't seen quite the negative situation when it comes to how you treat people who are poor. There is poverty, and then there is how you treat and define poverty. Capitalism has been kind of ruthless in that area. Socialism, kind of not so good and not so bad, but better than the capitalism. On the other hand, socialists have often been kind of poor when it comes to civil liberties and civil rights, tending to give government more power than capitalists are willing to give it, and so you get a kind of negative association within socialism for the concentration of power in the state. So yeah, they have strengths and weaknesses. The systems are complicated, and any reasonable conversation ought to deal with that.